Okay, so a little bit of everything. So all these want us to do is just simplify the expressions. So first step, if you see the parentheses with the number outside, that is the first thing that you simplify. So I'm just going to rewrite this big so that y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got a number outside the parentheses. So my first step is distributing that half. Now you can do that in your calculator. Don't let the fractions scare you. Your calculator will do them for you. So if you do control and division, you can do 1/2, and then here I'm going to multiply it. Remember, I can't type the x in, so I'm just going to type the 8. So 1/2 times 8x would be 4x. The other way to look at this is you could do half, and then remember, you're multiplying by this entire term. So you're going to do 1/2 times -6. Really watch your signs. So I get a -3, and then half of 2. 1/2 times 2 is a 1. And so since I'm not done simplifying, I'm going to go ahead and leave that 1 there. Now, I didn't touch anything here at the end. There was nothing to distribute. So all of that, I just fill in, okay? So distribute first, then combine like terms. So I've got a 4x, positive 1x, positive 2x. Those are like terms. And then the -3 and the 10 are like terms. So here, 4 plus 1 plus 2, 7. And remember, you can't put the x's in the calculator, so remember to tack it back on. And then -3 plus 10, 7. And so that's it. That's my answer. All right, so our next problem. 3x squared minus 5x cubed minus x times 2x squared plus 4x. Okay, so distribute first. So in this case, I have a -x that's in front of this. So I'm going to distribute this whole piece. What, babe? No, okay, hang on for me. Okay, so the first thing I have is -x times 2x squared. Okay, that's running. All right, so this is like, let me take the calculator down so y'all can see. This is like a -1x and then times 2x squared. So I'm going to multiply the coefficients together. -1 times a +2 is a -2. Then I'm going to multiply the variables. So x times x squared. If I would write this out, what does it mean when I raise something to a power like that? Multiply by itself. So x times x squared is just x times x. So anytime that I'm multiplying the same thing by itself over and over, I just write the base, which is x, and then the number of times it shows up, here it's 3, that becomes my exponent. So when you're multiplying like this, x times x squared, you're just adding the exponents. 1 plus 2 is a 3. So same thing here. -1x times 4x. I'm going to multiply the coefficients. -1 times 4 is a -4. And then I'm going to do x times x. So I have 2 x's, so I would write it x squared. And then the rest of this I didn't touch, so it just fills in. Yep. All right, combine like terms. So I've got a 5x cubed. I've got a negative 2x cubed, and then 3x squared and negative 4x squared. Remember, the exponents have to match to be able to combine. Biggest exponent goes first. Alphabetical order, biggest exponent. So 3 is my biggest exponent. So negative 5 plus a negative 2. What's that give me? Negative 7. Okay. So that's a negative 7x cubed. And then 3x squared and negative 4x squared. 3 plus a negative 4. Negative 1. And then we just tack this on. Do we write that 1 there, though? No. So negative 7x cubed minus x squared. So far, how do y'all feel? We okay?
Tired.
Tired? But not too awful, right? The key to this is to take it a bite at a time. Don't let the whole problem overwhelm you. Take it a step at a time. Okay? All right, so 5. So this one has a lot of distributing. So that is our first step. We distribute. All right. Remember when we distribute, just multiply the numbers, the coefficients together. So 3 times 4, 12. Tack on the x. 3 times a negative 5. All right, biggest mistake. See how this is a minus 2, but remember what I told you about those signs. You kind of got to lump them together. We're going to treat that like a negative 2. We're going to distribute a negative 2. So negative 2 times 3x. Negative 6x. Multiply them. Multiply them. All right, negative 2 times a positive 7. Negative 14. All right, 4 times 2x. 8x. 4 times a negative 8. Negative 32. Then we combine like terms. 12x. Negative 6x. Positive 8x. And then negative 15. Negative 14. Negative 32. What is it? 14x? Do y'all agree? Let's say somebody check it. It's always good if 2 people can verify. All right, somebody do negative 15 plus negative 14 plus negative 32. What is it? This plus this plus
61.
What kind of 61?
Negative 61.
Okay. Use your calculator. It is okay to use that calculator.
Big brain. That might take
Okay. Next one here. All right. 5x squared plus 7y. What, babe?
We do 6.
I'm going to show you. I know what your question is on 6, so give me a second and I think I can answer it. Minus 3x squared minus 4y plus 7. Okay. Is there anything to distribute here? They put it in the parentheses just to make you think that you should do something. Technically, there's a 1 there. But what happens when you multiply by 1? It stays the same. So all of that is just going to stay the same. All right, on the next piece, though, do I have anything that I need to distribute? Okay, so if you see something like that, a minus and then parentheses are opening up, You have a -1 that you have to distribute. So be very, very careful. That's how they like to mess you up. They like to mess you up with the signs. Okay? So what happens when we multiply by a -1?
It's negative, whatever it is.
Not negative. Because if it's already negative, what happens to it? So what would you say happens when you multiply by a negative? Does everything become positive when you multiply by a negative?
Yeah.
So can you come up with like a statement for what happens when you multiply by a -1?
Positive become negatives.
But that's not all that happens.
I don't know.
I'm too tired for this.
Okay, positives become negatives, negatives become positives. Multiplying by a -1 just changes the sign. So -1 times 3x, if this is a positive 3x squared, now it's a negative 3x squared. -1 times a negative 4y, negative times negative, makes it positive. -1 times a positive 7, -7. Then we combine like terms. Make sure you're getting the signs. All right, 5x squared plus negative 3x squared. 5x squared plus negative 3x squared. 2x squared. 7y plus 4y.
11y.
Positive 3 plus a negative 7.
-4.
Okay, so that's your answer there. All right, so Destin, is it number 6? Is it the fraction that's freaking you out?
The whole thing
The
was
whole
broken.
thing.
Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to distribute this 3/2, right? You're going to distribute that out. So you're going to multiply that 3/2 in your calculator. Control division, 3/2 times the first number's a 2. And I get 3. So this would be 3x squared. 3/2 times 6. So I do it again. Control division, 3/2. Make sure your right arrowing key get out of the fraction before you hit multiplication. Times 6 is a 9. So plus 9x cubed. And you just keep going down the line. This is a -9. So 3/2 times a -9. -27/2. Okay. Leave it like that. -27/2 x to the 5th. Okay. Then we've got 8. So we're going to do 3/2 times 8. Y'all can't see what's going on. Hang on. 3/2 times 8. You get a 12. So plus 12x squared. 3/2 times a -3. 3/2 times -3 is -9/2 x to the 5th. And then 3/2 times 2, we've already done that. That's 3. So when you combine like terms, so the first like term is this one right here, -27/2 x to the 5th, and then this one here. Remember, you just add the coefficients. So I'm going to do a fraction, control division. I'm going to do -27 over, well, if I could type, plus -9/2. And it simplifies to -18 x to the 5th. So you have to combine. That's more than halfway worked on that one for you. I'm going to make you do the fraction in this one for calculator practice. You need the calculator practice. Type in the fractions in. If you get stuck, you want me to check, absolutely 100%, I will check it for you. One last problem to do. Down here at the bottom, it says find the perimeter of each rectangle. How do you find the perimeter of a rectangle? Add what? The sides. All right. So if this side is x plus 1, what's this side? X plus 1. If this side's x plus 1, what is this side? X plus 1. So the same goes over for this one over here. If this side is 3p plus 1, this side is 3p plus 1. If this side is p minus 2, so that one just has a different letter with it. So all we do is we add up all four sides. So x plus 1, I did that side, plus x plus 1, I did that side, plus x plus 1, plus, and the last side, x plus 1. You can do the same thing on this one. This, plus this, plus this, plus this. Add them all up in a line and then start matching up your terms. So here, my like terms, I got x, 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 and x. How do I write that?
X. 4.
That's multiplied. All right, just in case you need this. X plus x plus x plus x equals 4x. X times x times x times x. That's where you use the exponent. Okay? Addition, the number of x's goes in the front. Multiplication, the number of x's is the little number up high. Okay? So I got 4x, and then if I add the ones, how many do I have?
4.
Plus 4.
Let's do it.
That's it.